I was always interested in investing, but Michael certainly helped to expand my interest in investing, and definitely creative approaches to valuation too. Tying into all of that is certainly his lattice work approach to how he looks at the world, not just stocks, but how he looks at the world.
The interesting things that he did here were the thought leader forums that he put together. So he would, once a year, he would pull together a group of really out-of-the-box, thought leaders in various different areas, very cross-disciplinary, things that you wouldn't expect CIOs and people in the investment business to necessarily be interested in. He'd pull them all together and put together a conference over a couple of days, which was incredibly popular.
Michael's been a great influence. His intellectual curiosity, his rigor, his always looking to improve, his constant searching for better ways to do things, whether it be through academic research or through practical knowledge. All of that has been an inspiration to me, and I think is great for our firm. It's helped our analysts, it's helped our PMs.
I think what he has done, perhaps better than anyone, or certainly the most, is serve as a bridge between the academics and the practitioners. And that's a bridge that really needed to be built.
He's not afraid to critique his or question his co-author, and he's not afraid to question his own ideas, and he doesn't stop until he's convinced that we've got it right, which is just the right way.
His ability to pull from a number of different fields. So it's not just valuation, it's not just economics, it's not just statistics. Quite frankly, he's pulling from psychology, athletics.
We did this jelly bean game where there's this huge jar this big full of jelly beans, and you have to guess how many jelly beans are in the jar. And the average person was off by 50-60%. I think there was something like 1,300 jelly beans in the jar, but the class average was only off by 2%. So kind of spoke to the wisdom of crowds, which I thought was one of the most effective ways to show that example. I mean, I think the whole class in general was just blown away by that example.
One of the things he was looking at once was synchronicity in markets, and so he had somebody come and talk about how there was this species of lightning bug in Southeast Asia that were all synchronous in the way that they would light up. And so these millions of lightning bugs would all light up at the same time. Kind of how did that happen and why? And leading to really how synchronicity actually influences markets.
The T1000 of learning machines.
Keep on learning.
Renaissance man.
The data shall set you free.
Always carry your thinking cap. Think twice.
Think twice.
It's not even a phrase. It's his gesture where you walk in, and if he doesn't want to do something, he does that.
Wendy's had a commercial with a woman, and she would always say, "Where's the beef?" Looking at her, "Where's the beef?" And I think with Michael it would be, "Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence?"
He probably hasn't received enough credit for being on the leading edge of behavioral finance.
I think the most important thing I've learned is that investing is just a piece of human nature, that you really cannot separate investing from everything else you do as a human being, that almost everything you do in life is a subset of investing, that you can learn from your family life, from what's going on around you.
He's addressing a very deep question about how the world works and how we understand how the world works, and I think it has a lot of ramifications.
A lot of the work that he does on decision making theory is fascinating and very relevant. And I think that actually those are areas that are sorely in need of that kind of thinking.
One of Michael's great contributions was to make sure that analysts did these probabilistic scenarios and decision trees, that they're constantly updated. Another thing that he did, which has been of great value, is having people keep investment journals. It's having people write down real time every day what they're thinking about, what they're doing, and then going back and checking that against their memories is really a great discipline.
I think that it might be confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias.
Overconfidence. Overconfidence.
It's anchoring.
Overconfidence with respect to my knowledge of behavioral pitfalls.
The hard thing for me is probably endowment effect.
I probably buy too early and sell too early, which comes back to that anchoring effect.
My brother actually took Professor Maubousin's class 15 years ago, and before he knew that I had gotten into it, he actually asked me, have you heard of a professor named Michael Mauboussin? And I said, yeah, actually I'm taking his class this semester. And my brother was obviously super excited for me. And I was visiting him at his house, and he went up to the attic and got an entire box full of all of the course pack materials from 15 years ago, from Professor Maubousin's class that he still had.
Before the first class, security analysis class, Michael came in, introduced himself, gave his lecture, and in between our break session, he came over to a group of us and he said, hey, I'm Michael, and I know you're so-and-so. And he had actually looked and sort of memorized a number of folks' resumes prior to the first class. And it was just sort of striking to all of us after class. We all were like, wow, that's the first time a professor has really taken the time to read resumes and to delve into each of our backgrounds.
It was his humility, really. He was a practitioner at the top of his craft. He takes the time out of his busy day to teach us, and yet he always engages us on a personal level and as someone who's also learning as part of the process as well. And I found that really refreshing.
He's so passionate about what he does. I've never seen a professor put together, 140, 150 page PowerPoint presentations to teach a class, and there's a lot of dedication there. He basically flew in every week to teach this class, and he hopped on a plane and sat with us for 3 or 4 hours.
The thing that stands out the most to me right away is Michael's accessibility. He's always, even to this day, I'm always impressed. If you drop him an email, if you give him a call, he gets right back to you. There's no delay, no matter how busy he is or what's going on.
For him to kind of start the class off by saying that he remembers that he's, sort of standing on the shoulders of giants while he's teaching this, I think it's just this immense reminder of his humility, and I think it kind of teaches us by example.
What I've learned from Michael, because I enjoy teaching, I'm not as good of a teacher as he is, but I love teaching, and what I've found out is the process of teaching is where real clarity comes from. Well, I've seen how clearly he thinks about various aspects. I'll say, well, where'd that clarity come from? I'll say, well, I teach it.
Mauboussin? Mobes? I think we just go with Mobes.
Mauboussin? Mauboussin.
Oh, well, pronouncing his last name is very easy. It's Mauboussin.
Mauboussin.
Oh, the Mauboussin? Yeah. Mauboussin?
Mike.
Smith.
Continue to take risks, continue to push himself. His next book's coming out. I've been fortunate to read it. I think it's the best one he's ever done.
Continue on this wonderful journey that you have. It's been a privilege working with you, associating with you, and most of all, having your friendship.
To become a better investor, become a better person, you just have to always be thinking, always be reading, always be learning, and just never stop. And I think that was what he imparted on us, and I would impart the same back to him.
He should spend 1 or 2 lectures just teaching us everything he knows about time management, because I don't know how he does everything he does. He works during the day, he teaches at night, he reads books, then he goes home and writes books. He writes journal articles, he invests, and then he raises 5 kids. So anything he could teach me about time management, I'd love to know.
Please never give up teaching, because it's rare to find somebody who cares so much about the learnings of others. So you're not allowed to retire.